Can you tell me more about what projects did you work on, and the vertical that you were saying you were a part of?
So CareFit has 4 verticals predominantly. Number one would be EatFit, Eat.fit, Cult.fit, Mind.fit, and Care.fit. So CultFit, MindFit, and EatFit are very famous. CareFit is not that famous. It's growing up, right? It's still in that phase where they're spreading the word, right? So Care.fit, I was a part of Care.fit. Care.fit is, they have their own clinics, and they have their own doctors, and yeah, you basically, yeah, it's a clinic which is run by CareFit. That's basically it. And their motto is that this whole, like, you can trust the brand, and you know that quality healthcare will be provided. It's a big problem, you never know which doctor to approach. But they have doctors under all verticals, doctors from physiotherapy to um, ENT to gastrointestinology, I don't know what that's called, I'm sorry, to everything else, right? Skin
Yeah.
doctors and all of that. Yeah. So they have all of these doctors under one umbrella. They bring them under one umbrella, and you can just book an appointment on their app, and you can go and you can have your checkup done. They also have complete body checkups and all of those things. So that comes under CareFit. My job was to help them revamp their EMR system. For the uninitiated, an EMR system is an electronic medical record system. A lot of times when you visit a doctor, you will see that he's constantly typing on his keyboard or writing something. The doctor needs to record your responses for future reference. That's how your medical report is created, right? So for that, there are softwares like Practore and a lot of other softwares which help doctors record all this information very quickly and digitally. And when information is recorded digitally, we all know that it's easier to send it across to different people and share it and store it and access it
Right.
later and all of that. Yeah. So CareFit has its own in-house medical record system that I was working on. It's called DocsApp. Yeah, so I was supposed to revamp that, and I made a few prescriptions. So the whole revamping process did not go as planned, because it turned out down the line that it was not as easy as we thought it was. They had to later hire contract workers for like 6 months, who later on completed the process. So while I was working on it, because I was just an intern, I worked on minor tweaks which could help improve the performance of that application. Now, when I say improve the performance of that application, you need to understand how an EMR, like what is important in an EMR system. What is important in an EMR system is that it is fast, it is clutter free, right? By fast, I mean it should be very easy to record the information in it. Doctors work according to a timeline, right? You have a 15-minute or a 20-minute or a 30-minute appointment with a doctor. He cannot exceed that, right? So he cannot have an application which impedes his process, which makes him slower. He needs to have an application which is smart, which can, you know, understand what things which are obvious and reduce the workload. Automation in a way. Also, it is extremely important for the EMR system to allow flexibility to a doctor,
Right.
because the human body is extremely complicated. So the doctor needs to be able to write his own notes and for his own future reference, that okay, these are certain things I also suspect, but it cannot be a part of the EMR system, right? The EMR system cannot have like parameters for everything, like boxes for everything to be
Yeah.
entered. You cannot have that. So there a lot of flexibility needs to be provided. So you need to combine flexibility and efficiency and all of these things under one umbrella, and it needs to be easy to use, because
Yeah.
the doctor has to use it all day. And surprisingly, when I conducted interviews, a lot of doctors are not very comfortable with tech. They're really not comfortable with tech. So if they are used to a Dell laptop and I gave them a MacBook to test a prototype out, they did not know how to click on that mouse. It was extremely difficult for me to teach them. It took me time to teach them. So keeping that in mind, and it's not really their fault, right? They again are 40, 50, 55, 60 years old. They know their field, but it's not necessary that they'll be able to handle a computer as well, right? It is extremely important to remember that when you're making an EMR system, that it also has to be very simple to use,
Right.
and the learning curve needs to be cannot be very big, like it needs to be very smooth, the learning process. So yeah, that is what was supposed to be done. But
Nice.
I worked on makeshift tweaks, which could help them like function better for a short period of time till we could hire contractors and completely revamp the app altogether.
Okay.
That was my job.
Can you share some of your work?
Yeah. So this is something known as the physiotherapy plan. And so I had to make this is the screen where the doctors enter um, the information that they receive from
Nice.
the patient. Yeah. So this is something known as the provisional diagnosis. This is a drop down menu. So again, something that I learned on the intern was that it really matters whether you're using a drop down menu or a pill box or just if you're just typing.
Right.
Because if you have a drop down menu, you cannot have more than 5 or 6 options, because then the drop down menu impedes your speed, right? It's better to then type it out. If there are just 3 or 4 things which are very common, then you can have them as pill boxes like this. And you can also have a drop down menu. And the drop down, you can also have drop down menus which can support typing. Like you've typed 2 or 3 letters and the drop down menu automatically shows you an option.
Right.
Something that Google uses, right? So these have to be like, my major job was to figure out where to use what. This was very cluttered before I worked on it, and now we use drop down here, and we use I can show you the states later. It's below this, but yeah. So the goals area was this. So this is your impacted shoulder. This is the physiotherapy goal, whether you want to reduce pain, reduce tenderness, reduce functional activity. And all of these were dynamic pill boxes, right? They change according to the impacted area. Now, so say if the impacted area is something like your spine, then these will change.
Right.
Just to so a lot of backend had to go into it.
Yeah.
And I had to talk to a lot of developers to be able to make sure that this worked. Apart from that, there is something known as provisional treatment plan. Now it's called provisional for a reason, right? Your planned treatment may be something, but your actual treatment can change depending on the person's recovery rate and the person's progress.
Right.
So you have the session number here. Your planned treatment goes in, but your actual treatment changes. Like when I'm talking about, like when I start entering for session number 2, I have to write what was the actual treatment for session number 1, and then I write for session number 2. And there are, as you can notice, there are a lot of add comment boxes. This is in relation to what I said before, flexibility. They need to be able to add their own comments everywhere, like wherever possible.
Right.
It's incredibly important. It gives doctors that kind of flexibility. And then there is post-session advice. This again, you cannot have drop-down boxes or anything here. The doctor has to type it out because again, flexibility. All right. So down there is something known as activity recommendation. Again, the same thing. There are just 3 themes, so there are only pill boxes here. The person does not have to write; can just select, move on. Writes the activity name, gets a drop down when he writes YO, clicks on yoga, comes here, selects one, selects again, and can write instructions here. These are autofilled, and now you can see this here. This is autofilled, right? So the moment you select yoga, this gets autofilled on its own. Instructions is step number 1, lift your right hand. Step number 2, that kind of a thing, right? So the person does not have to write it down here. At the same time, it gets filled out. So when it's printed out, the patient receives it that way, and it's helpful because it's required. So see, the things that you need to keep in mind while designing a prescription is that a prescription is meant for the patient, right? So when the patient looks at it, he should not feel overwhelmed, because any which ways he's not well. Okay.
Yeah.
If the prescription is not friendly and if it's not precise to the point, then it becomes really difficult for the patient to trust the doctor, b
Right.
follow instructions properly. You cannot have too much jargon put in. You cannot have too much information. There only needs to be information that the patient needs.
Yeah.
It's also important to right. Okay, so it's also important to segregate information properly. Now, prescription is just about what the patient needs to do. A detailed report will have all of his medical condition put in one place, right? So that is what we try to do here. This is the prescription for Uttam Soni. Your provisional diagnosis is here. The pain, your goals are here, and we're also telling him quantitatively what he has currently and what we are targeting for. And then there is a provisional treatment plan where we tell him what session 1 will entail and what session 2 will entail. And then there is something known as activity recommendation. Now, thing to note here is that activity recommendation does not have any instructions given here, right? It's just written squats and planks and lab test likha hua hai. So squats and planks, they will we plan to give him another sheet which can have illustrations for every exercise.
Right.
Like for squats, how to go about it. For planks, how to go about it, because the posture is really important.
Yeah.
Now, earlier, all of these instructions were given, in a written format in the prescription. That increases clutter,
Right.
a lot of clutter, and it is not very it's not a very good form of communication. When you show them illustrations and images, it's a far better form of communication, right? Where, as far as exercising goes. So this was again a decision taken. We won't keep the instructions here. We'll instead give him a pamphlet, and the instructions can just be there, and we can just have the basic prescription
Yeah.
on the prescription itself, right? So this was the other thing I had to design. And again, you also need to know how to strike a balance between costs and your design, right? You can have very, very user-friendly design, but it can be really costly. I'll show you. Wait, I'll just show you one more screen and you'll understand. So this is the center prescription. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something known as the center prescription. This would have been given in printed format. Okay. As you can see, I've defined the boundaries and the borders and everything centimeter by centimeter, 5 centimeters and everything.
Right.
Why this is important is that when we had a meeting with the operations team and everything, ये भी ये लोग काउंट कर रहे थे कि अगर एक पेशेंट को 2 शीट्स मिलती हैं, then how much with a 5 centimeter border, how many sheets we'll have to use, with a 2 centimeter border, how many sheets we'll have to use.
Right.
And costs, because prescription is free, and they at the end of the day are a company, right?
Yeah.
So they have to look at their costs. So as a designer, you again a very major chunk of your job is to explain to all the stakeholders inside the company that how the cost that they're putting in is worth it.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes when I had a senior designer with me and I did not know so much, right? So I would see that person is trying to explain to the ops team and the other team that okay, even if you are increasing your cost by 2 rupees per patient, the this particular margin or this particular say some kind of a feature is necessary for the patient to understand things more clearly, kind of a thing.
Right.
So, again, seems like a very small thing, but a lot of thought goes into everything that a company does.
Yeah.
And that was again a revelation, because I was like, okay, you even think about the cost of the sheet. Nice. They even think about what quality of paper they'll use to reduce costs, and not so places where good quality sheets are important, like reports and all of that, because reports are more durable, right? Like reports get handed down from doctor to doctor and need to last for years. So their paper was very good quality paper, but here they slightly compromised on the quality of paper, because prescriptions are usually not that crucial. So this is a general physician's what do we call it? The AMR system, and he has various tabs, as you can see. This is known as chief complaints. This is where the patient tells the doctor what problems he has. If he's come from for a regular checkup, he'll say no presenting illness, and the moment you click on it, this disappears. You don't have to write nil everywhere. Instead, you can just click on this. This was again a tweak that had to be done in order to make the process smoother for them. As you can see, this is just this is not there anymore. You can just write public notes on the prescription if the prescription is needed.
Right.
When a presenting illness is when the person comes to you with a complaint.
Yeah.
So if the person has no complaints, he's just saying that I've come for a regular checkup. You don't have to write regular checkup. You can just say no presenting illness and it's done. So that was one thing. Again, reason for visit, you have multiple tabs here, as you can see, right? So this is HCU. HCU is health checkup. Medical certificate is when you need a medical certificate for various reasons. professionally and otherwise. This is a routine checkup and a follow-up. A follow-up is when you have gone to a doctor previously and you're following up on that visit. So yeah, that is another thing. The third thing is again the whole iteration kind of a thing. When you write C, now there was this huge debate on this particular Dropbox because there are numerous conditions, right? Like infinite number of conditions. Coronavirus did not exist till a few months ago. Now
Right.
coronavirus is also a condition, right? So this is click to add new. Now there is also this need for the company to verify that the particular thing that the doctor has added is genuine. When I say genuine, I'm not saying that the doctor will add something which is not really a condition, but they may have another option on that list that the doctor does not know about, and he's writing the same thing in a different language. Like myocardial infarction and heart attack is the same thing, right?
Right.
Myocardial infarction is the scientific name for a heart attack.
Yeah.
And angina pectoris is a scientific name for a pain in your heart, which happens when your like the artery supplying blood to your heart muscles, they get clogged, and a part of your heart becomes like something of that sort happens, and it's called angina pectoris, and that is also known as heart pain or something like that. Get it? Layman terms and scientific terms. These are two different words. Meaning is the same. So that way, when they add, like when they click on click to add new, this particular new information goes to the company,
Right.
and they verify it, right? And they talk to the doctors. They're constantly in very close touch with the doctors. So all of that happens. So a lot of so there was this debate whether we should allow people to add something new because we have an exhaustive list already.
Right.
But then somebody said that like the designers, like even I said that the whole flexibility thing cannot be compromised on. If the doctor feels he needs to add something, he needs to add something, right? You cannot compromise on that. So this was finally added, and they made a provision that this would come back to the people in the company and they would like check it. So when you click to add new, this happens. Are you sure you want to add a new entry? Cuff will be added to your list temporarily. We will review it and it will be added to our before it is added to our permanent database. And then so a lot of it was visual communication, like line read hona chahiye when you say mandatory field.
Right.
And all of those tiny little things which make it easier for people to use an application.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was chief complaints. Is one of the most important verticals in an EMR system. It is very important to have a properly, efficiently functioning chief complaints section, because that is the main section that doctors need to refer to.
Yeah.
Because that is where you write what problems the patient is facing. So this was something that took me around 3 weeks. It does not look like much, but my God, we had so many iterations on it. Every day something new, and then that would get scrapped and something else. It's fun actually. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so that was basically what I did.